Hello YouTube, welcome to another video with the 300L Rally. Just out for a little cruise. Thought I'd take you over here and jump that that little feature that we were showing from the side view the other night. I know it was a little dark in my video, but hopefully we can get another screen capture of that with my wife videographing or something, I don't know. But anyway, we're just gonna jump off this thing a couple times and just go for a ride, and I thought I'd give you a little story about why this bike, how I ended up on this bike of all the bikes in the world. I started off with a Ruckus, Honda Ruckus, whoops, and then I had a TW200, which I loved, and I just sold that after I ordered this bike. Not clapping today, but had the TW200, and you know, I started watching Dirt Bike Channel, Kyle Brotherson and all that, and I got to thinking, you know what, I need a real dirt bike. So, you know, I've got a buddy I ride with who's had nearly every motorcycle in the category. You know, everything up from a TW200. And the first time I rode was on a DR200. So I've gotten a chance to try everything, you know. And he's been through them all. DRZ, WR, he had two of them at the same time, Supermoto and a regular one, and he told me, I'm never going to get rid of this bike, I love it, it's so awesome. And I got a chance to ride it, and it was good. You know, I thought it was pretty good on the freeway. His was geared, I don't know what they do, 1347 or whatever, and so it had aftermarket gearing. He didn't do any engine performance mods because he liked how simple and reliable it was, and he had all the, you know, protective gear mostly on it, big tank. And so anyway, back to why I ended up with this bike. I've tried them all, but at the time, 6 months ago, I had CB500X, a KLX300R from 2005, kickstart only, plated dual sport, plated dirt bike, really, trail bike, and the TW200. And when I got that KLX, it like blew my mind, you know, and really opened up the possibilities of what you know, what was possible on a motorcycle, really. So the T-Dub pretty much sat there because that KLX was so good, and I, you know, commuted it every day, and or you know, it was in the rotation, but the T-Dub hardly ever got ridden. It'd be like a Sunday drive kind of thing. I'd take it out for you know, an hour a month maybe, and just the dual sport, I mean, plated dirt bike just did everything better. You know, I've had it up to 83, and you know, it's faster, it wheelies super easy, just beautiful. But you know, its downfall is that it's not comfortable on the highway. It's too loud. It's got an open air box, you know, all these mods that were done before I got it mostly, and it had some exhaust that started rattling. I changed that out for a Q4. Actually, it was a power core, and then I got the quiet insert for it, which took a year. But anyway, so, you know, I already have this like long distance CB500X bike that I've taken on BDR trips, and that does a pretty good job of a lot of things, but and it's capable of the off-road trips. It's just not something that I was comfortable for long distance, you know, that I like look forward to riding only off-road. It's too heavy. And the KLX is something that I didn't want to ride on the freeway to go on these trips, and because it was an off-road only bike, it doesn't have the passenger pegs or really the subframe's different. You know, there's not really a lot of places to tie down your gear to it and stuff, so it didn't seem like a good one for luggage carrying. And you know, mine had been modified so that it has anyway, long story short, it wasn't a very good travel bike. And so you know, we were looking, well, you know, we have these conversations, what's the best bike, what are you gonna get, what would you get today if you could? And we saw this Honda come out in other markets, and we're like, dude, that's probably the bike. You know, looked at every video on YouTube like you're doing, and thought, dude, that thing might be all right, you know, with the gearing changes and the power increase, and having some wind protection, bigger gas tank. I mean, it's all the stuff you might do to a bike to make it into a travel bike, but it's already factory parts with factory part numbers, you know, factory warranty, and it works together. You know, it's tried and true, you know, but it's a new model, but it's a Honda, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna work, and it does work. You know, so that's why I'm here. What would be better? I don't know, maybe a 450 that had the same service intervals, not a 450 that you got to change the oil on every 10 minutes. But you know, this thing, they call for an oil change at 600 miles, then 8,000, and the first second oil filter you need to put on, it's not till 16,000. You know, I'm never going to run those kind of service intervals. I'll probably change the oil once a year and the filter once a year. It's like, you know, from the Honda dealer, it was 11 or 17 bucks or something for the filter and the gasket, which is probably a rip-off, but dude, it's 17 bucks, you know. So, you know, what I intend to do with this bike is do BDR trips and road trips that are going to be more off-road focused than road focused. And when I'm going to go do only off-road, you know, hard stuff, to ride through rocks or whatever, I'll take the CRF300L. And so I've got, you know, a dirt only, a dirt touring, and a road bias touring bike. And you know, if you can have more than one bike, I think that's the desirable thing to do, really, because there's not one perfect bike for everything. But I think this one, you know, if you had to only have one bike, this one comes pretty close. So that's what I think about it. You know, it's a good bike. I mean, and it's kind of like light years ahead of the competition as far as the package and what you get and the instrumentation. I mean, my buddy just got a DR650, and the thing's awesome. I'm surprised how good it is. But you know, you don't go to the car dealer and try to buy like a 1987 model brand new, and that's what all these other manufacturers are offering you. I mean, sure, it's reliable and it's tried and true and tested, and there's a huge aftermarket for it, but when I'm out to go buy something in 2021, I don't want a carburetor on it, and I don't want to have to fuck with doohickeys or, you know, a rear spring that's a pogo stick or whatever. You know, every bike has its little quirks and known issues, but you know, the DR650 has a round gauge with a the speedometer, one trip meter, and the little pod that has your neutral, blinkers, and high beam indicator, and that's it. So, you know, and